The power of no reaction. Why manipulators need your emotions. Have you ever noticed how some people seem desperate for your reaction? Not your opinion, not your understanding, your reaction, your anger, your frustration, your emotional surrender. Because the moment they can control your emotions, they can control you. And most people never realize this is happening. They believe they are defending themselves, explaining themselves, proving a point, but in reality, they are dancing to a tune someone else is playing. The modern world is full of invisible hooks, a disrespectful comment, a passive-aggressive remark, an insulting message, a manipulative coworker, a toxic family member. Each one is bait, and every emotional reaction is a fish biting the hook. The tragedy is that most people spend years believing strength means responding, fighting back, getting the last word, winning the argument. But the wisest minds in history discovered something different, something far more powerful. They discovered that the highest form of strength is often found in what you refuse to do. And perhaps no one understood this better than Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who ruled one of the greatest empires in human history, a man surrounded by betrayal, criticism, political enemies, and endless pressure. Yet he left behind a simple truth. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Think about that. Not power over other people, not power over their opinions, not power over their behavior, only over your own mind. And that changes everything. Because manipulation requires your participation. An insult means nothing until you accept it. A provocation has no power until you react to it. A spark cannot become a fire without fuel. Most manipulators understand a psychological principle that many victims never learn. People become predictable when emotional. Angry people reveal their weaknesses. Defensive people expose their insecurities. Frustrated people make mistakes. The moment emotions take control, clarity disappears. This is why provocateurs don't always seek victory. They seek disruption. They want you distracted. They want you emotional. They want you off balance. Because an emotional mind is easier to influence than a calm one. Imagine a perfectly still lake. When the water is calm, you can see straight to the bottom. Every detail is visible. But throw a stone into that water and everything becomes distorted. This is exactly what happens inside the human mind. The provocation is the stone. Your reaction is the disturbance, and your wisdom disappears beneath the waves. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. He knew that external events possess far less power than our interpretation of them. In his private writings, later known as Meditations, he repeatedly reminded himself that other people's actions belong to them. His response belongs to him. This distinction is one of the most liberating ideas ever conceived. Someone insults you. That is their action. You become angry. That is yours. Someone tries to humiliate you. That is their choice. You allow it to consume your thoughts for days. That is yours. The Stoics believed that freedom begins at this exact point, the moment you stop blaming the world for your emotional state, the moment you reclaim responsibility for your inner world, because then something extraordinary happens. You become difficult to manipulate. The psychological advantage of remaining untouched. Think about the people who disturb you most. Why do they have power over you? Is it because they are stronger, smarter, more successful? Usually not. Their power comes from access. Access to your emotions, access to your attention, access to your peace of mind. And every reaction grants them more access. Every argument is an invitation. Every defensive explanation is an opening. Every emotional outburst is a transfer of power. Yet silence closes the door. Calmness locks it. Indifference seals it. This does not mean becoming cold. It does not mean suppressing emotions. And it certainly does not mean allowing injustice. Stoicism was never about becoming emotionless. It was about refusing to become emotionally enslaved. There is a profound difference. An emotion may enter your mind, but it does not have to become your master. You can observe anger without obeying it. You can feel insulted without retaliating. You can experience frustration without becoming it. This is psychological mastery, and it terrifies manipulators because they depend on automatic reactions. When they press a button, they expect a response. When the response never comes, confusion follows. The game stops working. The script falls apart. Suddenly, they are confronting someone who cannot be controlled through emotional pressure, someone who remains centered, someone who remains sovereign. This is why no reaction is not weakness. It is discipline. It is self-command. It is evidence that your inner world is no longer available for public ownership. Consider how much suffering comes from things that happened only once. One insult, one rejection, one criticism, one moment. The event lasted seconds. The reaction lasted months, sometimes years. Often, the pain we carry is not created by the event itself. It is created by our continued attachment to it. Marcus Aurelius warned himself constantly about this trap. He understood that every unnecessary emotional burden steals energy from the present moment, and life is too short for that theft. Too short to spend your peace on people who have not earned it. Too short to surrender your mind to every passing provocation. Too short to become a prisoner of other people's behavior. The strongest person in the room is rarely the loudest, rarely the most aggressive, rarely the one demanding attention. More often, it is the person who remains composed while chaos unfolds around them, the person who cannot be baited, the person who cannot be manipulated, the person who understands that not every battle deserves participation, because maturity is realizing that some victories are won by refusing to fight. Some arguments are won through silence. Some conflicts are defeated through non-participation. And some people lose their power over you the moment they realize they can no longer provoke you. So the next time someone tries to pull you into anger, pause. The next time someone attempts to provoke you, observe. The next time someone desperately seeks a reaction, remember this. Your attention is valuable. Your peace is valuable. Your emotional energy is valuable. Do not hand them away so easily, because every reaction is a choice, and every moment of restraint is a declaration of freedom. Marcus Aurelius understood this nearly 2,000 years ago, and the lesson remains timeless. You cannot always control what happens around you, but you can always choose what happens within you. And in a world addicted to reaction, that may be the greatest power of all.